in the letter was, as I sit far away in Midland, Texas, my heart breaks for those before you who just need a little break. Take care of the baby first, then worry about the parking tickets.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing bad is going to happen here. Talk into the mic so I can hear you. Tell it was $1,115.
All my tickets because
Just sit down. Sit down.
I was at a red light and I was in the left lane and there was like a line of cars. It was actually on Valentine's Day.
You didn't tell me that. Inspector Quinn.
A single mom receives a gift from a compassionate viewer in Texas and a big break from Judge Caprio. Her vehicle was booted, but she stated that it wasn't hers, but her kid's father's.
We've been separated for almost 3 years, and I failed to get the plates back from that. I'm not sure. I believe that they're seized. I don't really have contact with my kid's father.
The last time they lived together was 3 years ago. She has 4 children who are all in school. She has 13 overnight parking tickets, which means she leaves the car outside. That's the only reasonable explanation for that.
Well, I did have a parking space. Well, the Appleton places I really didn't, but on the Radcliffe I did.
Why do you leave the car on the street?
Just me being exhausted.
How many more tickets does she have to get to learn a lesson? I doubt the judge would waive this one. She told the court that she works 30 to 40 hours as a medical assistant and that she's also learned her lesson.
Do you have a parking space now where you can park the car?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to get my life together. I understand I do owe on parking tickets. I'm just trying to get my life in order.
We've got to admit that she's doing a great job. Raising 4 children alone and working long hours can be tough. Her finances aren't stable, so it's understandable that paying for a parking ticket is the last thing on her mind.
I'm having trouble understanding why, given all of those issues, that you continue to park on the street overnight, that you take care of your kids and you're working. But it's irresponsible of you. You give me an excuse, well, I'm tired.
He has a point there. Knowing the consequences, she should have done better. Judge Frank told her not to come back and give her advice to tell herself when she feels tired, that she's not that tired to move the car. Well, that's one way to avoid parking tickets. A man from Texas sent a letter with 6 $50 tickets.
In the letter was, as I sit far away in Midland, Texas, my heart breaks for those before you who just need a little break. I'm going to use one of these to help you pay your fine.
Thank you.
Compliments to Mr. Steven and his wife Tammy. The boot was removed and now she has a total of $250. The judge asked her how much she could pay a week. She replied saying $50, but also mentioned that she could pay $200 after the court session.
So now you have a balance of $150, $25 a week.
Okay, that's more realistic.
Judge Frank stated that he wasn't going to waste the city's resources chasing the father of her children because it's definitely going to be an exercise in futility. The name can't be changed to his because they're never going to get the money.
For that, I'm going to take a big burden off your head. Okay, I'm going to dismiss those tickets. I'm going to dismiss them.
Thank you so much.
So that's not hanging over your head, okay?
Do you think Judge Frank was harsh on her or was he fair? Let us know in the comments below. In our next case, the judge tries to calm down a new mom who's suffering from postpartum depression, and she has a bundle of tickets and boots on her car. She's got 3 parking tickets and a red light violation.
On North Main and Branch Avenue. What's the time on that?
0.4.
She was trying to stop, but then she didn't stop.
The judge asked her if she was trying to stop. She said she did, but went all emotional and started crying. She has a 2-month-old baby named Bryson, who appears to be her first child. She stated that she was nervous because she'd never been to court.
We're going to dismiss the red light ticket. Okay? I think you were trying to stop.
I did notice that afterwards, Judge.
Now she's got 3 $20 parking tickets, which have all tripled to $60. The judge waived all the penalties. She has a boot fee of $100, which is mandatory. He asked her how much she could pay a week, and she said she has $60 on her.
I'm not going to take the $60 from you. You got a baby, so.
Okay, that's...
How much can you pay a week after that? You can just mail it in. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Judge Frank is such a sweet and rational soul. He asked her again, how much she could pay a week. She stated that she could do 20, but was just waiting to see how much she would get for her TCI so she could pay any amount they wanted her to.
Take care of the baby first, then worry about the parking tickets.
Okay.
Okay? Nothing bad is going to happen here. I almost never, ever release a boot unless we get $100. Almost never.
I can't imagine the kind of emotional pain she must have been through from all of that postpartum depression. According to Judge Frank, he almost never ever releases the boot unless they get $100, but you won't believe what he did in her case.
I'm going to release it with no money. Okay?
Okay.
I almost never do that.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was one emotional roller coaster. So, on to our next case. A woman gets a ticket on the day her divorce was final. She was charged with a speeding ticket, but according to her, she wasn't the one driving.
That was on May 9th.
You
This is a copy of my divorce settlement. My husband at the time, I signed the title over to him that morning.
They went to court, and on their way out of court, she asked him to get the truck out of her name. He did, but it was 1 week later. 15 minutes after he left divorce court, he was on his way from court to work, and that was when it happened.
He originally was going to come here with me today. His girlfriend wouldn't let him come, so that's why I'm here alone.
Well, that's pretty sad, but also expected. Judge Frank was quite impressed with her, as he'd rarely seen anybody as pleased as her after a divorce in all of his years of practicing law. Based on her explanation, Judge Frank dismissed the tickets. I definitely didn't see that one coming. Did you?
I think you did everything you could.
I tried.
I'm not going to add any more pain to this situation.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Judge Frank gets mad when he thinks a family was switching registrations. A son and his mother are in court, and the son would be doing the talking and translations as his mother doesn't speak English.
First of all, you have 3 different registration plates. Now, let me tell you what that means to me. So you change the registration plate. Then you got a number of tickets on that plate, so you changed it again.
He explained that she's associated with 3 different cars, of which one is hers, another is her husband's, and one is his. Judge Frank stated that it was going to cost them $300 for all the tickets and $100 for the boot fee. She asked if he could reduce it, as she wanted to pay it completely just to get it out of the way.
Talk into the mic so I can hear you. Tell her it was $1,115.
All my tickets because
Just sit down. Get the interpreter. Take a seat.
He wanted to take the fall for her and was going to use the fact that he was her translator as an advantage, but Judge Frank wasn't having that, so he called the court's translator. He asked her to tell her the same thing, and also that he thinks she's received enough of a break, which also means he won't be reducing the fine anymore.
He registered the car for him so he could go to the university.
Tell her the way that she solves that problem is to take the keys and let him take a bus.
He had a better alternative, which I think would be a better option. He asked the interpreter to tell her son to go and get a job so he could help her pay for the tickets.
O decirle que se busque un trabajo y ayudarte a pagar los tickets.
I wish her well.
Desea lo mejor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, on this one, a stolen car on Christmas leaves this mother with the restraining order against her son. Miss Judith has 3 red light violations and 2 parking tickets.
My son had borrowed my car to go to court, just like these stoplights, too.
Your son was driving the car. Where is he?
I have a restraining order on him.
A restraining order? What could a son have done to deserve a restraining order from his mother? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty curious and would like to know. So it looks like he had 2 red light violations within 2 minutes of each other. That is just utter irresponsibility. She told the court that she was aware as her son had taken her car without permission, and she also confirmed that he was speeding.
Obviously, he didn't get charged with speeding because there were no police officers in the area. How old is your son?
54.
Does he live with you?
No, but I had taken him in for a while.
So now it's all starting to come together. She took him in because he was waiting for rehab. I think the rest is pretty clear. Judge Frank advised that she take the keys away from him and not let him use the car. She explained that she thought she'd put them where he wouldn't find them. Well, finding a better place should be top priority.
I was at my mother's son's house for Christmas, and then on New Year's Eve, my sister picked me up.
You're not making excuses for your son, though.
No, I'm not.
What are your thoughts? Do you think she's trying to make excuses for him? I mean, it would be understandable because a mother's love has a really long reach. In her case, it was different. She stated that that's been cut short because her son had done her wrong, not only with this, but with other things as well.
I don't want to bring it back up onto the record, but based on the earlier comment that she stated, she does have a
Restraining order.
clearly stated 2 of those violations were on Christmas Day, Your Honor.
It's clear that she's going through a difficult time. Due to how compassionate Judge Frank is, he wasn't going to make it any more difficult for her. At the same time, he didn't want to make it easy for her son, but unfortunately, the car is in her name and he can't be held responsible.
And I preach to parents all the time, that you have to have tough love. You have to take the keys. Take the keys. You can't do it. Ask the authorities to get a restraining order. So we're not going to add to your difficulties right now.
Why would a man of 54 years allow his mother at such an old age to go through all of this stress? It's just heartbreaking. Ultimately, the case was dismissed. We need to understand the difference between helping and enabling and making sure that our children suffer the consequences of their actions. Okay, on our next one, 2 best friends' Valentine's Day plans are spoiled when they're pulled over by a cop. Miss Nicole was charged with a laneway violation.
I was at a red light, and I was in the left lane, and there was like a line of cars. It was actually on Valentine's Day.
You didn't tell me that. Inspector Quinn.
They had plans to go out and eat, but unfortunately for them, that was all ruined. She explained that her whole car was searched, but nothing was found. She was in the left lane, there were a couple of cars in front of her, and there was also a cop right behind her. The other lane didn't have any cars in it. She went through that so as to get in front of the red light.
I went in front of the cop, and he wanted to go the same time as me, so he pulled me over
I'm not gonna lie, he literally sped up.
I was just trying to go into the right lane to get to the first spot. You know what I mean?
She told the court that she didn't exchange words with the police officer when she was pulled over. She had her medical marijuana card book with her and a little bit of weed, but since she had proof that she could have it with her, nothing happened.
2 choices, really. I can say that you come back and have a trial, or I can dispose of this case today without the necessity of a trial. I believe you.
Thank you.
She believes that she was given a ticket because they had already wasted their time. Judge Frank had a different opinion. He believed they got the ticket because Miss Genesis said something to them, but she stated that she didn't say anything at all.
Right, and based on my interpretation of the statute, the matter is going to be dismissed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Judge Caprio introduces us to a special person in his life, and a woman claims she's a law-abiding parking person. Miss Haley was charged for going through a red light. She told the court that she was actually working at the time.
Where do you work?
The Whiskey Republic on the weekends.
What do you do?
I bartend.
How are the tips?
They're okay.
Real good?
Yeah.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering she has a job, she's established that she can pay. She explained that she's trying to get a new place and move out because her roommate is pregnant.
The light is red already. Well, you made a right turn.
I wasn't actually driving, I was working too. They have access to our keys.
Judge Frank's daughter was in court. He called her out, gave her a hug, and asked if she saw the video. She said she didn't as she was in a corner. They checked the footage again. The car made a right turn, and it appeared that there was a sign after an intersection saying you can't make a right turn.
So, what do you think I should do?
Dismiss it.
Dismiss it?
Thank you.
And also, she's going through some financial hardship, so.
Well, what a sweet soul that she's got. She's got a heart of gold just like her dad. The judge stated that it was a judgment he would have made too, so the case was dismissed. On our next case, Miss Lashara has 6 parking tickets, which are all on a Hyundai. She misheard the judge, and she thought he said 100 instead of a Hyundai. Trust Judge Frank to make a joke out of that.
Do you have 100?
Yeah, we might have more.
No.
No.
There's a boot.
You got 500?
I wish.
So far, best personality is Lashara today.
She works at the Providence pub downtown as she's the lead line cook. She explained that she always got a ticket around 12 because when she comes out, there's already a rush, resulting in her not being able to get off the line, and in no time, the parking lady's already there.
Little evidence to show that I pay like a lot.
I know, you paid 15 tickets already.
Okay. Oh, well, these are just the parking meter things that I want to show you.
She sure was attempting to prove that she's a law-abiding parking person. That's a new one. Inspector Quinn thinks that would look good on a shirt. What do you think? Let's go back to what she does. What does a line cook do? If you didn't know that before, it's time to find out.
Well, I prep the food, I cook the food, and I send it out, and, I make everyone happy.
So the waitresses get the tips, right?
No, but I get the other part. I get to go out and see everybody eating and enjoying it. So.
The 6 tickets she has are all $25 tickets. The original fine is $150, but they've all tripled. What do you think would be a fair judgment for Miss Lashara? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
We're going to charge you $75 for the tickets.
Okay.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Fair enough. Thank you. Have a good day.